A name synonymous with wealth and sophistication, Rolex is not only one of the biggest names in watchmaking but one of the most recognizable brands in the world. Counterfeited on every continent, co-signed by some of the world's biggest stars and collected more than any other timepiece, Rolex's recognition has been built on the back of savvy advertising and slick sponsorship deals. Rolex is a Swiss luxury watchmaker widely renowned for its prestige, precision, and innovation. The story of Rolex begins with Hans Wilsdorf. He was born on March 22, 1881, in Kulmbach, a town in Bavaria, Germany. Wilsdorf's early life was marked by tragedy when he was orphaned at age 12. While the loss of both parents at such a young age would normally herald a life of abject poverty, Hans and his siblings were saved by their uncles, who sold the successful family tool business and used the proceeds to send the children to elite boarding schools, where Hans would excel in languages and mathematics. Beginning his career as an apprentice with a pearl exporter, Wilsdorf traveled widely as a young man before taking a job as a clerk and English correspondent with a Swiss watch company, Messrs. Kuno-Korten, in the town of La Chaux-de-Fonds. During his time at Kuno-Korten, Wilsdorf was charged with winding hundreds of watches daily and assessing their accuracy, an experience that gave him invaluable insight into watch design and manufacturing. In 1903, Hans moved to London, where he met Alfred Davis, an investor and eventual business partner. With Davis providing the capital and business acumen and Wilsdorf the technical knowledge, the pair founded Wilsdorf and Davis in 1905. At the time, wristwatches were seldom used in high society, being seen as both imprecise and not particularly masculine. After all, any true Victorian gentleman would carry a pocket watch. However, Wilsdorf believed, with trademark prescience, that wristwatches could be highly accurate as well as fashionable, something that no one had yet tried to do. Having purchased their movements from Swiss manufacturer Hermann Agler, Wilsdorf and Davis placed them inside British-made cases and distributed them to London jewelers, who would attach their own names to the watches. The only clue as to their origin was W&D, stamped on the inside of the case back. Wilsdorf and Davis continued in this vein for several years, until in 1908, Hans trademarked the name Rolex. A word that was short, easy to pronounce in any language, and looked good on watch movements and dials. That same year, Rolex opened its first office in Switzerland, in the very same town where Hans Wilsdorf began his career. Striving for ever greater accuracy, Rolex began manufacturing all of its watches on the premises of Maison Agler in Bienne, Switzerland, and in 1910, a Rolex became the first ever wristwatch to receive the Swiss Certificate of Chronometric Precision, a landmark accomplishment and the first of many for the young company. Just 4 years later, in 1914, the Kew Observatory in England awarded Rolex a Class A precision certificate, a distinction that had previously been reserved only for marine chronometers. Despite these remarkable achievements, Wilsdorf remained unsatisfied. While they were considered the benchmark assessments for accuracy, both the Swiss and English certifications were awarded under static conditions. In order to satisfy Wilsdorf's own dreams, a Rolex would need to keep time under any conditions, no matter what its wearer put it through. And so, the quest continued, although now officially under the name of Rolex Watch Company. Wilsdorf had made the change following the outbreak of World War I, possibly hoping to avoid any anti-German sentiment that his surname might inspire amongst the brand's undoubtedly patriotic London clientele. Following the introduction of a 33% tax on gold and silver, Rolex left London for good in 1915, relocating its headquarters to Bienne, before shifting to its current home of Geneva and registering under a new name, Montreux Rolex SA, in 1919. For much of the next decade, Wilsdorf and Rolex would dedicate themselves to solving the problem of dust and water, a challenge that would lead to one of the most significant inventions in the history of watchmaking. Before we continue our story, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Don't forget also to turn on the notification bell to be updated in our every uploads. Rolex is one of the biggest names in watches. No matter the country, most people can recognize a Rolex. As far as brand recognition goes, it doesn't get much better than that. The solution would come in 1926, with a word that has become as central to Rolex's brand as the five-pointed crown: the oyster. A hermetically sealed case that prevented the ingress of both dust and water while still allowing the watch to be adjusted, the oyster would come to change Rolex's fortunes. The oyster was to Rolex what the Jordan 1 was to Nike, yet despite the impressive technological breakthrough and its now famous association with the brand, credit for the oyster's invention does not reside with Rolex. The original patent for the oyster is attributed to two Swiss watchmakers, Paul Périgord and Georges Perret. While similar designs had been in use in the early 1920s, none was as effective as Perret and Périgord's design, which relied on a screw-down stem and crown to create a true seal on the case. Realizing the potential value of their invention, Hans Wilsdorf purchased the patent and embarked on a monumental marketing mission. In 1931, Wilsdorf's Rolex introduced the perpetual rotor, the first self-winding mechanism that used the motion of the wearer's wrist to wind the watch. Wilsdorf also had a keen sense of marketing and understood the importance of branding. He positioned Rolex as a mark of distinction and associated it with achievement, exploration, and prestige. Hans Wilsdorf's foresight and marketing acumen contributed significantly to Rolex's success as a premier luxury watch brand. His commitment to precision, innovation, and quality craftsmanship established Rolex as a symbol of excellence in the watchmaking industry. Hans Wilsdorf continued to lead Rolex until his death in 1960. After his passing, the company was managed by the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation, a charitable trust he established during his lifetime. The Hans Wilsdorf Foundation remains a significant shareholder in Rolex, ensuring the company's stability and continuity. The Rolex Day-Date, also known as the President, was introduced in 1956 and was the first wristwatch to display both the date and the day of the week spelled out in full. The Rolex GMT Master was also introduced in 1956, designed initially for professional airline pilots. The Rolex Daytona was launched in 1963 as a racing chronograph and has since become one of the most iconic and sought-after Rolex models. The 1970s saw the advent of quartz watches, leading to the quartz crisis that affected the Swiss watch industry. Rolex weathered the storm by maintaining its commitment to mechanical watches and quality craftsmanship. Rolex continued to introduce innovations, including the Quickset Date feature, 1977, the Rolex Yachtmaster, 1992, and the introduction of the Parachrom hairspring, 2000, known for its resistance to magnetic fields. It is hard to say what the opinion of Rolex will be in 10, 20 or 30 years. Whether it will be seen as just another soulless luxury brand or a name that inspired a new generation of enthusiasts and collectors to enter into the world of vintage watches. Although its future may be hard to predict, the story so far proves without a doubt that Rolex has earned its reputation as the best-known name in watches, and why a Rolex will always make a valuable addition to any collection. Today, the name Rolex, like Rolls-Royce, is a word that has become a synonym for refinement, opulence, and personal accomplishment. Rolex watches are the type of timepieces that you buy once you have reached a certain stage in your life, and they often mark the point of a major triumph. Just like the old Rolex slogan goes, "A crown for every achievement." From the humblest of beginnings, Rolex has become undoubtedly the most famous and successful luxury watch manufacturer on this planet. The company is a true giant in the world of horology, but it is a position that is well deserved. The Rolex brand as we know it today is the byproduct of an unrelenting drive for excellence and over 100 years of refinement and development, all in the pursuit of the brand's singular goal of making the world's best wristwatch. Throughout its history, Rolex has been associated with exploration, sports, and achievement, and its watches are highly coveted for their craftsmanship, precision, and timeless design. The brand's commitment to excellence has solidified its position as a symbol of luxury and success. Rolex remains one of the most prestigious and influential watchmakers globally, with a reputation for producing high-quality, durable, and accurate timepieces. The company continues to innovate and set industry standards. Hans Wilsdorf's contributions to the watchmaking industry and his ability to position Rolex as a symbol of luxury and success have left an enduring legacy. And that's the wrap of our story for today. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and also please press the notification bell to be updated in our every uploads.